My name is Marisa Stone with Simon Says Social and the Systems Lounge, and I want to welcome you to the 2017 Business Systems Virtual Summit, where you learn all the systems that our speakers use to get stuff done every single day. And today I am super, super excited to have Rukshana Triem here. She's going to talk with us all about Facebook communities. So let me tell you a little bit about her background. Rukshana is a former refugee from Mozambique, right? Is that how I pronounce that? She came to the United States in the 1990s, and after overcoming sexual abuse, she became an advocate for parents and child care providers to support them in their own healing journey. She is now the author of Living from Strength and Faith, a rough hike from refugee to success, and she uses what she's learned to host nature retreats, to coach, and to empower women to find themselves and create their own beautiful life. Rukshana, welcome. We are so excited to have you here today.
Thank you so much, Marisa, for having me here today. I'm very honored to be here.
Oh, thank you. So let's talk about Facebook communities. Let's just begin at the beginning. What in the world is a Facebook community?
Facebook community is an online community on Facebook, since most of people use Facebook. So it's a community where everybody can get together, where they can talk about specific topics or whatever they're interested in. So you can have any kind, like they have sports communities, they have women's communities. So you can join, and it's a virtual community where you can act as you are there and having different discussions through this community.
Wow, very cool. Now, why should entrepreneurs be concerned about Facebook communities?
Wow, yes. So we are moving into the online world. Everything is happening online. We are shifting. So colleges are doing a lot of courses online. I have my 21-year-old, she's taking half of her classes online. So everything is moving online. Businesses are moving online. So that's where the business is going. So I feel that it's important to entrepreneurs to have that Facebook community to sell their product, to educate, to expose that what they feel very valuable to them, they can teach others as well. So yes, absolutely. Wow. I feel like yes, that's where we're heading now.
Yeah. So is there a difference between a Facebook community and a Facebook group, or are they just used interchangeably?
It's about the same. So a Facebook community, you can, when you create one, you can call it a community, or some people call it a group. So it's usually the same thing, okay, but based on what you call it.
Okay, got you. But it acts the same way in that a group of people are coming together around a particular topic, service, whatever the case may be.
Yes, that is correct. Yes.
Okay. So am I correct? Can anyone pretty much create a Facebook community?
Absolutely. Anyone can create a Facebook community. Again, it's just like you would do a regular community where back in the days people would come together and do picture books and to get together and have coffee. It's just the same way, but now it's online. So,
okay. So all we did was remove it from the physical and put it in the virtual.
Absolutely, yes.
Okay, good to know. So let's say I want to create a Facebook community. How do I start?
You can just start by going on Facebook and saying on your main page to the left-hand side, you can scroll it down. It gives you an option to start a group. It'll say start a group. And then when you click that, you'll have like a step-by-step tool what to do next. And
so
it's
they
important.
Make it really simple.
Yes, absolutely.
Good to know. So how should I choose the name for my Facebook community?
Based on what you're selling, or based on what you're introducing, or based on your business, really. For example, my business is a women's lifestyle coaching. So I created a community called a women's lifestyle community. So it's really, I just took the name of my business and shifted around and created a community. And and in that community, I wrote an explanation, description that I'm here to do this, to serve, to help women, but also this goes together with my business.
Got you. Got you. So once you have your community open, what do you do with it?
Well, you start you start adding value. You start asking questions first and see what people want to hear about. What My community is for women only, so I start bringing topics what really I feel it's that I have struggled with in my
Right.
community. I've struggled with my weight. I've struggled with confidence level. I've struggled with sexual abuse. So I would bring those topics and do kind of a survey to see what kind of topics are they really getting into. The more women get into these discussions and topics, the more I dig deeper into it and then elaborate and try to bring those conversations that we never had before, bring them up.
Nice. Good to know. Good to know. So you sort of alluded to it a little bit in that you ask questions. How do I create engagement inside this community? Because I can certainly ask questions, but if nobody's responding, that's not helpful, right?
Yes, yes. I like to look at it as a personal, like get into the personal level. Like some of the topics I've brought up is what kind of pets do you have? Everybody loves to talk about themselves, to talk
Yeah.
about, when you ask question about the personable questions, what did you have for dinner? Something simple, share, something that you love to have for dessert. Those are great conversation starter because everybody likes to share that, so
Mhm.
getting to know the audience by asking questions like that. Or more personable is like, what kind of movies do you like to watch? What kind of activities do you do with your families if they have families? And with women, I like to say, what are you doing this weekend that's exciting? Or what is it that you don't want to do this weekend that you're not looking forward to?
Right.
Yeah, we'll start with conversations. Yes.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, I really like that one. What are you dreading? What do you not want to do? That's a good one.
Yeah.
So you talked a little bit about adding value inside your community. Can you tell us some of the ways in which you add value to your community? I know you ask a lot of questions and you get that engagement going, but what are some of the ways in which you add value?
A lot of ways that I add values is really giving my experiences, using my stories and how I have overcome that sexual abuse part. I have overcome the obesity part. And then I will put in steps by steps what I have done. And also I have done like 10 minutes workshops where I ask them just to comment one thing or give me some hearts or give me thumbs up. That kind of adds people to kind of interact.
Right.
Um, Another way I would add value is I will write a little summary about based on the book I just finished, or if I
Mhm.
went to a conference, I would learn something and then add that value into the community as well. Say, this is what I learned, and what do you guys think? And ask question at the end because that again starts the conversation by digging deeper.
Got you. Got you. Yeah, those are some really good ideas. I've seen people actually do book groups inside Facebook communities where everybody is reading either the same book or different books and they all come together and they kind of share. So for those avid readers, that's a huge way to add value in it and also boost engagement. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
How often should I be posting or encouraging engagement inside my Facebook community?
I really feel, it's really up to you. It's you create the rules.
Hmm.
But I myself, every time I'm taking a break from a client or every time I'm inspired, I get something inspired, I share that. I
Yeah.
really feel like what I'm comfortable with. And sometimes where there'll go moments where the Facebook community is really, really quiet. And usually when it's really, really quiet, no one is commenting. A lot of people have a hard time with being quiet. What they don't understand is that quietness is actually good because that's when all that information is going through. They are processing, they're taking that time to learn, they're reflecting. So sometimes quietness is good. If no one is commenting, that's really good. That means there's some good nuggets going on into the mind and the heart and soul. So don't be afraid to have quietness. So there'll be moments where I will post something and no one will comment, no one will say something, and then sometimes I'll go 2 3 days, I won't comment, I'll just let that serenade and sit
Yeah.
there.
Yeah.
So that way, it sometimes I say silence sometimes is better than something, because you know that they're thinking about it. So it's really up to you how you feel like it. Yeah.
And that's a really good point that you make, because sometimes, especially it sounds like in your group, sometimes you're talking about some very personal things, and sometimes people just need to resonate a little while on something that you're sharing. I think I have a similar kind of setup in my business because I teach technology, and for a lot of women, technology is intimidating and difficult. And so when I put something out there, sometimes it needs to just sit with them for a minute before they actually act on it. So so that's, I like that you allow people to understand that silence is not necessarily a bad thing.
Absolutely.
And
I also think that sometimes we feel that we always have to put stuff out there, put so much in. We don't understand. We're already living in a culture where there's a lot of information. That's so if you put so many things during the day and you don't give some time for our community to resonate and process, it just overloads. It kind of shuts everything off. So it's really good to kind of spread it all out.
Yeah, that's a really good point. I had never really thought about that. So what are your thoughts on using some sort of auto posting tool to post regular updates in your Facebook community? I know a lot of people, they'll do a mastermind post where if you're struggling with something or you need help with something, you add it in the comments under a post, and then other people in the group can comment and share their experiences and talk with you a little bit about maybe what the opportunities are within what you're struggling with. What are your thoughts about using a tool like Hootsuite or Buffer or some other tool to auto post into your Facebook community?
I love those. I'm glad those tools are there. I have used them before myself, but I have more flexibility now where I'm able to not use those tools. But the busier I get in the future, I will definitely going to use that. I'm glad those tools are there. I like that because you can time them accordingly, I believe, as far as you want to go. And actually, I was in Africa for 6 weeks and I didn't have access to the internet. So I was able to access, because I was in the village there and there was no internet for a whole 4 weeks where I was in the village. And I planned it accordingly, where I had scheduled all those discussions. There were discussions even though I was not in there liking the comments or interacting, but the group kind of evolved itself. The community evolved itself by supporting one another, by having these all wonderful conversation through the comments. So it was beautiful to see that even though I was not there physically, the conversations were still going on based on that scheduler. Yes.
Nice. Very nice. Oh, that's a fantastic story. I like that a lot. Yeah. So how do you take what happens inside the group and turn that into things that you can use to educate this audience even further?
I look at my, one of the things I've done something different than most people have done is when people want to join, when women want to join a women's lifestyle community, the community I created, what I've done is I've added them as a friend. Not just, I let them know the reason I added them is I want to get to know them and how I can support them. Right. However, I don't comment on everything they say, but I kind of follow what they're saying. So when, for example, I'm going to give you the story. One of the ladies was having a hard time because her boyfriend didn't give her flowers. Right. So I was able to take that, not exactly in her own words how she described it, but I was able to take that content, twist it around and have that discussion. Do you believe that men should buy you flowers, or do you believe by self-worth you should buy yourself flowers? So having those conversations, so I'm able to take one post and turn it around and having conversations like that. And sometimes what I've done also in the past is I will get a question and then I will turn that around a question and turn that into a content and then put it back into the community. So because it's hard as an entrepreneur, as you're thinking, as the higher you're going in different levels, you forget those where you started, those little simple things. It might be very difficult for our women in where they're starting. Yeah. Right.
Yeah, that totally makes sense. Yeah. So what are some other ways that you educate your community? Besides kind of listening, I think that's the most fabulous way to start. But what are some
Yeah.
other ways that you offer value and educate your community inside Facebook?
I do a lot of live videos.
Okay.
I try not to go more than 10 minutes. I always try to do under 10. And that based on that videos, I'm really sharing my fears. I'm so vulnerable in the community that I could be myself. I'm sharing when I started doing live videos, I was sharing how scary it was for me to go live. I mean, all these voices in the back of the mind sharing, and through that, eventually also have done workshops. I've given challenges. I like a little competition. I've done a book club where I say if you use a hashtag this, and then at the end of 6 weeks I'll collect all the hashtags, do a little competition, because that kind of gets everybody motivated, involved, and they can win a prize, where I said I will send you a book if you win. I'll send you a book based on the book club. We've done different things, so I love that, because in my community, I get to create what works for me and what works for my community. And, it's the culture that you kind of cultivate in that community.
Yeah, no, that makes total sense. I love some of those ideas, right? A little bit of competition, making sure that you offer some sort of prize to your audience. Yeah, those are great ideas. So yeah, that's really cool. So I know you're not allowed to charge for your Facebook community. That's against Facebook's terms of service. But what are your thoughts about offering your Facebook community as part of a product or service that you're already selling?
I totally understand that. Yeah. So one of the things I've been giving so much value, what I started doing is when I started creating small packages. Like one of the packages I did was the book club. The book club, I said I'm going to be offering free coaching, and I did something simple like $9.95.
Right.
And then the next book club, I was going to have a special author. And then I said, oh, from now on, it's going to be, $12.95. So the price kept getting higher and higher. And also, I was able to get the confidence. I was able to practice. I was able to get all the knowledge and the skills, and I was able to raise the prices, where the book club started from $9.95 to now to $49.95. But that's something that they get motivated to, because now they know the value that I have added into the community. They know who's going to be coming in, because based on, the resources I have offered.
Right.
So yes, they know. Also, that's part of the description of the community that I have written. I said, you have joining this community, I'm going to be giving a lot of value, but once in a while, I'll be offering different product that's available. You don't have to buy it, but remember, I do believe that if you invest in something and you put your time, you are also gaining the knowledge that you get to help. It helps you grow. So not only I have done it myself as a coach, I get to share those experiences with them, that whatever you pay for is worth the value, because you're going to put your time and energy, and you're going to expand your knowledge.
Right. That's a really good point. So if you let's say you have a $49 product that you sell inside the community, do you then run that event through the community, or you take those paid participants out and put them in a different spot to work with them? How does that work?
That actually, I run that in the community, but I put a link on there that takes them to a PayPal link where they have to make the payment. However, when that event is happening, because I have so many products in there, when that event is happening, so I put those ladies in a different community where it's more interactive. So everything, it will be just too much to have so much going on in that community. So I put them in a separate, smaller group where it's more interactive. And then when they're done, they're no longer wanting this, so I remove them, and then I keep adding more. So I have this different
Oh, that's a really cool idea. I like that idea. That's a really cool idea. So I know that we're coming to the end of this session, but can you tell us, is there anything else you want to share with us about Facebook communities? I know we're going to dive a lot deeper in the next interview, but is there anything else that you want to tell people that they might need to know now in order to get their Facebook communities up and running?
I think it's just, I feel like everything is a learning process. You start small, there's no mistakes. You just start small and you're learning through that process. So don't be intimidated by it, because it took me a while to learn, and then everything is going to evolve. Once you overcome that fear and start, and everything is going to evolve, and just keep learning.
Yeah. And actually take a chance and do it. If you've never done it before, take a chance and do it. It actually is a ton of fun. You know?
It is. I love it. I love it.
So, Rukshana, how can people reach out to you if they want to work with you, join your community, whatever? How can they get in touch with you?
Oh, absolutely. So that information will be down there on the website, and they can also add me on Facebook. Yeah, below down, and they're more than welcome. Send me a message or add me on Facebook as well.
Perfect. Perfect. That sounds great. Guys, definitely click on the link below and take advantage of what Rukshana is sharing with you today. Join her community, go in there, see the types of value that she's adding to the women's lives that she's working with. For those of you who are in the All Access Pass, stick around. We are going to be taking a much deeper dive inside Facebook communities and getting yours set up and running in no time. Thanks so much, everyone. See you in the next interview. Bye.